Hey Crow Nation, welcome to KL Insider. I'm Skylar Jenkins.
And I'm Pat McGuire.
And what we're going to be doing for the next 7 weeks is we're going to be announcing the rosters for the 7 teams. We're also going to be going over all the additions and subtractions from each team, what we think of each team and how they're going to do in KL5. And then also, each week we're going to feature a team and we'll post up questions and get feedback from you guys about your predictions. So let's get started. This week is Jet Sets week.
The Jet Sets, they had a pretty average season last KL. They had a 4-6 record, and they were knocked out in the semifinals by the Nimble Jacks. They gave up 1,367 points to the opposition last year, and that comes out to 114 points per game. Scoring-wise, they scored 1,117 points and about 112 points per game. So there's a big difference in scoring and defense there. They did, however, have the 4th best save percentage last year at 42.7%. Offensively, the second most goal zone points at 118. What they really need to work on this year is their defense. They gave up in 3 separate games 173 points, 157 points, and 156 points to the Night Owls and the Nimble Jacks. So defense is key for them going into the season, improving that, and what I think they did with their roster will help them improve their defense. Players that aren't returning are Donnie McCall, Jeff Regensburg, Anthony Barbera, Kevin Corbett, Nick DeLuca, and Joe Hoban. Additions to the team this year are Rich McClary, Rick Bailey, Chris Zizza, Matt Atkinson, Chris Quittens, Andrew Gianascoli, Chris Vandenberg, and these guys are all from the Cronum Rec League. They actually all played together on a team called Air Pops, which is the Jet Sets Cronum Rec League team. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys can bring to the Cronum League if they can improve from the K-Rec. Skylar, who are you looking at for these rookies coming in?
What they were lacking on was their defense, clearly. Seeing all these new defense players, not only just wedgebacks but also rangers who will be good at blocking at the point and the flex shots, will be really good to see, and it will definitely help them out. Andrew Gianascoli, I want to start off with. He's the top wedgeback prospect. And he's really good at backdoors, so he's going to be able to bring a strong backdoor presence, get shots in quick when they need them, get those easy twos, and then he's also going to be able to block a lot of the shots and really close off one of the wedges from the other team actually scoring. Chris Vandenberg is very physical. He comes from a football background. He's not going to be their strongest shooter, but he's definitely going to be able to guard that point and guard that flex shot. Chris Quittens, another aggressive player. He's just going to be a good defensive player and also be solid with the assists. So Rick Bailey is going to be one of their strong bench wedgebacks. Just be able to step in when needed and really just pick up that support in goal. And then we got Rich McCleary. He has been playing with the Jet Sets in the Cronum Rec League, and so he's got some good chemistry with the team, which should be good. Still developing, but he's a lefty player, so that should just bring in another dimension to their team. Chris Zizza, he's an all-around good athlete. He's very quick. He's also a lefty. He shoots high, but as long as he is able to recover that ball, he should be able to get the rebound and get a shot. Matt Atkins is going to be a solid arm for them, be a good cross and flex shooter. So I'm excited to see what he can bring to the team and see if he can make up for the arm that they lost.
All of these guys, except maybe for the exception of Matt Atkinson and maybe even Rich McCleary, they all can play wedgeback. So what I think the Jet Sets are going through for here is they want to make sure they have that safety net, that they know that any of these guys can come in and play wedgeback. I'm really excited to see Matt Atkinson in the league. He has a very strong arm, and he learned how to do a great cross shot, so he's definitely going to be deadly from that point. Andrew Gianascoli, he is going to come in, and he's just going to wreak havoc in the goal zone. He's going to put up backdoor numbers that are crazy. He might even be in the top 3. I don't know if he can catch Pete Wise and Jim Bradley, but he's going to be close to them. Matt and Andrew, I think, are going to be part of that starting lineup when they do come in. These other guys, I think they need a little more grooming to be at that professional level. I do think they're eventually in the season you'll see more playing time from them. With Chris Quintons and Chris Vandenberg, I think these guys were added onto the team as a chemistry standpoint. So the Jet Sets are going to, in the past, they've had a lot of just anger in their games if they got down. So hopefully with these additions, they will help make it more of a team effort to win. Rick Bailey, like you said, he's going to be that another wedge back on the bench they can go to. And Rich McClary, I think, just needs some more playing time to groom his specialty.
Well, it's really going to be cool to look forward to seeing these Jet Sets on the field. Is that we have two sets of brothers. We have Chris Quintons, and we have Mike Quintons, and then we have Steven Vandenberg, and we have Chris Vandenberg. But also a lot of the other players who were picked up played with the Jet Sets on the Cronenberg League. So it's going to be really cool, this team bonding and chemistry type thing happening. So it's going to be cool to see what they can muster up.
Yeah, they're going kind of like with how the Night Owls did it last season. The Night Owls completely overhauled their team after KL3. There was a huge trade. They got rid of Phil. They sent him to the Horses and sent a couple of other guys to the Horses, where they added people on their roster that just knew they could play together, knew they were good chemistry. They weren't the best, but they knew they could play together and mesh well together. And look at them. They went on to win the Cronum League Championship. With their starting lineup, though, this is going to be a little interesting. There's probably a million different ways you can look at it or how you can go. But how I have it is the crossers, I'm going to have Mike Quintons and Ryan Skinner. Mike Quintons is going to be more of the moving the ball, moving the offense. He's going to rack up a bunch of assists. And then he even still is that threat from the 4-point shot, so you still have to defend him there. And then Ryan Skinner, he's just going to create mayhem in that middle. He's probably one of the fastest guys in the league. I'll call it right now, he's going to be the steals leader at the end of KL5.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that 4-point shot that is very hard to stop. And then for Rangers, I have Steven Vandenberg, Matt Atkinson, Matt Parsons, and Vinny Greco. The only reason I'm having Vinny Greco here is because he is a veteran. He's been on this team for a couple seasons now. I don't know if maybe one of these guys off the bench is going to come in and replace him, but I think starting day he's going to be there because he knows what he's doing. Matt Parsons, he's going to be there. He's the captain. He's great at what he does. He will look for those back doors, and he can also move the ball too. Matt Atkinson, I said, he has that strong arm, so he's probably going to put up. I think he's going to make up for what with that loss of Jeff Regensburg. He won't be as much as the 196 points Jeff had, but I can see him close to about 100 points for this season. And then Steve Vandenberg, we all know what Steve can do. He's going to be a lot better. And then as wedgebacks, I'm interested to see this too. I know I said Andrew Gianniscoli is going to be in there wedgeback. Returning Christian Rhoda, he's going to be in there too. Zach Van Fossen is going to be there, and Scott Reimer. The third and fourth spot with Van Fossen and Reimer, I think this can change through the season. I don't think those two guys are locked in at all, especially with that bench. So I would say even look to see, especially in the preseason, a revolving door kind of effect with how they're doing their wedgeback situation. So with this starting lineup, I do expect this team to perform better than they did last year. I think defensively their numbers will go down. Offensively, I think they're still going to be around the same limit. I don't know, though, because with that loss, Jeff Regensburg is such a huge loss for this team.
For sure.
So we'll see if these guys they picked up, can they pick up that slack from Jeff Regensburg? Can Mike Quintons be much better than he was last year? I know he only had 80 points. Is he going to exceed that? Ryan Skinner, he didn't play all last year. What's he going to do? They have 7 rookies on their team. That might be the most. We don't know yet, but that might be the most out of any of these teams coming in. So, yeah, I do think with this lineup, they will have a good playoff run, especially with that depth at bench.
I agree, and like I said, it's just going to be good chemistry and just pretty much see what they can do with all their new guys. They've been playing together, so let's see what they can do in the actual Cronum League. Thanks for tuning in this week to KL Insider. Be sure to check Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our questions. We want to hear about your predictions and feedback. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel that we just created. Just look up the KL Insider or just find the page off this link. I'm Skylar Jenkins.
And I'm Pat McGuire.
We'll see you around.